Hi friends, welcome to Kaizen Club. In this particular video series, we are planning to compare big companies across industries and benchmark their operational performance. For example, today we are going to talk about steel industry and we are going to compare three major companies in steel industries. One is JSW, second one is Tata Steel, and third one is SAIL. Come, let's get started. Hi friends, this is Anant, your trusted lean manufacturing implementation partner. These three companies are some of the India's largest manufacturing companies in steel sector, and they are all listed companies, and we have taken the data, that is the financial data, from their websites and their annual reports, and the financial statements are available online for everybody to read. And these three companies are big players in the market. JSW having a revenue of about 1.35 lakh crores in the year 23-24, and Tata Steel has a revenue of 1.41 lakh crore in 23-24, and SAIL achieved a revenue of 1.05 lakh crore in the last year. So we have taken these three companies for a comparison, and we are pitching their operational efficiencies to see which company performs best in different parameters. So come, let's get started. So the first parameter we looked at is the cost of goods sold by the total revenue, that is the gross margins. When we look at the gross margins, Tata Steel was way ahead in gross margins compared to these two companies, JSW and SAIL. Tata's gross margin is about 59.06%, when JSW is about 46.22% and SAIL was about 45.32%. And cost of goods sold is the sum total of all the raw materials and other basic costs which are necessary to produce the product, right? This is more like a direct cost. And gross margins are better for Tata Steel. So when the gross margins are better, obviously when we look at the total other expenses, right, including the other costs like interest costs, depreciation, amortization, all the other costs, if we put together, Tata's expenses were very low. It's only about 84.17% compared to JSW's, which is 91.13%, and SAIL has the highest total expenses, that is 95.75%. So out of 100 rupees revenue, their SAIL is spending 95.75 rupees for expenses. Tata is only spending 84.17. Tata is spending very low on expenses. We may think that the net profit will be higher for Tata, but something happened in 23-24 that their net profit was very low as a percentage of their revenue. From 10.10% in 22-23, it dropped to 3.34%. What is the big impact? When we looked at their annual report, it was 12,000 crore of exceptional loss which happened in the last year. So they have actually taken it to the books, and that has created this drop. So even though the expenses were low for Tata Steel, their net profit for the last year was very low because of this exceptional item. But otherwise, for the previous year it was very good. Only in the last year this was a hit. For JSW, the net profit percentage was 5.87%. And then for SAIL, it was only 2.57%. So in this category, for the last year, JSW is the highest, 5.87%. Tata, because of this one exceptional item, it went down to 3.34%, but SAIL was only 2.57%. And then now let us look at the other costs and let us see how they performed against each other. When we look at the employee cost, JSW has the least employee cost, right? And Tata Steel, when you look at the number, it was 5.14% in the year 23-24. It seems to be nominal because Tata's generally the employee benefits, the compensation, the other perks and benefits will be there. So understandable. And SAIL, being a government owned company, it was slightly higher, 11.03%. But JSW was able to have this employee cost to a very minimum, 1.72%. I mean, which is very low compared to even other industries. It is seeming to be very low. Maybe they would have invested a lot in automation, robotics, etc. We don't know because these things are not detailedly explained in the annual report. And then let us go to the finance cost. What is finance cost? The amount which is paid as interest to the banks and other parties. So the companies would have taken a lot of loan and they are paying the interest expense. So that interest expense is the finance cost. And when we look at this number, SAIL was actually having a very low finance cost. Their debts were very low, the loans, current loans and also non-current loans. And for Tata Steel, it is slightly higher, so they are paying about 2.90% as finance cost. But for JSW, it was 4.46% the last year. And when we look at this number and looked at why the amount is very high, they are having about 60,000 crores of borrowings in the last year. So that's why their interest cost is very high, the finance cost is high. Now let us come to the inventory cost. What is the value of inventory that is present in the end of the financial year, and we have compared it with the overall revenue, right? When we look at this number, it was actually shocking because this directly connects with the operational efficiency, right? SAIL is having very high inventory at the end of the year, and it is about 26.47%, right? And which means their inventory turnover is only 4 times. Not even 4 times, it was less than 4 times. 25 means 4 times, right? So it was like 3.8. But when we look at Tata's and JSW, it was about 14 to 15%, which means their inventory turnover is 6.6. Tata and JSW were able to rotate the money faster, right? The cash to cash cycle and the inventory turnover is faster, whereas SAIL has a larger inventory. Maybe the stock is still lying in the warehouse, and they are taking more time for converting this inventory into money. So the turnover is only 3.8 to 4. So this is a very, very important number when we look at it. And then we have also looked at the plant and maintenance values. And surprisingly, in this category, Tata's value was slightly higher. It was 3.8% compared to JSW, which is 1.14, and SAIL is 1.37. And we also analyzed why Tata's plant and maintenance values were very high. So when we look at it, they are upgrading their old machineries and equipment. They are also introducing a lot of automations and robots in their plant. So that's why in the last year their expenses were high. Maybe JSW and SAIL, they are not doing a lot of upgradation of the machinery, so their cost is less. All the three companies are putting a lot of efforts in TPM and other maintenance based activities, so their cost was very low. Now let us look at power and fuel cost. So when we look at the power and fuel cost, Tata Steel was able to manage it well within 5%. It is only 4.5%, and JSW it was about 8.46, whereas for SAIL it was 7.07%. And Tata is using a lot of renewable energy. Other companies are also using it, but in Tata's we are able to see big data, and they have written a lot of things about renewable energy in their financial reports. And also they have included a hydrogen injection based blast furnace which reduces the operational cost. So this has resulted in the reduced plant and fuel cost for Tata's. But other two companies is slightly higher compared to Tata's. And then when we look at the freight expenses, SAIL is able to manage their freight and transportation expenses to only 2.98%. Tata and JSW, when we look at the number, it is about 5.35 for Tata and 5.37 for JSW. Again, Tata and JSW, they are doing a lot of exports. Exports as a percentage is higher compared to SAIL. So they are using seaports for their transportation, and being a export oriented transportation, the cost is high. SAIL predominantly sells throughout India, and they are using freight trains for transportation. So obviously the cost is slightly lower than the two companies. So these are all the points which we analyzed from these three companies. If you like this particular video, please share it with your friends. And if you are interested in conducting a master health checkup for your operations, like how we did it for these three companies, we can also analyze your operations, your process flow, your value stream mapping, and understanding the bottlenecks in the operations, and also your purchase, stores, and quality functions. We will do a one-day audit and submit a report to you which clearly gives you what can be done to improve. There are many times when I see company business owners, they don't know where to start. There are a lot of issues. They are stuck on where to start, and sometimes they are skeptical on how to start the lean implementation. So if you are in that particular position, please feel free to contact us. This master health checkup will transform your industry. If you like this particular video, please give a subscribe to our channel, and also give a like to our video. And you can also share this to your friends and colleagues who are in the steel industry, so that they can also learn about these three companies. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.